If you are in your 30s, rebuilding your life, you're building your body, your career, and you feel your ass is getting kicked by a youngster who's someone who's 5 or 10 years younger than you, this video is for you. I want to share my personal story in which I got into competition with a youngster and I felt defeated twice at first, but later on, time revealed who actually was doing the work and who was living off an older identity. So in December, I switched jobs and I switched to a management role, right? But then a couple of months in, a new guy came in and he kind of took the same spot I was in. I then switched to another management role. Actually, I don't give a shit about any job because for me, it's just a vehicle. It means to an end. But what mattered to me is that he also was a triathlete and he has this cool bike, this knowledge about how to build a body, this knowledge about how to increase your VO2 max, everything. And so when he came in, I felt defeated twice, physically and professionally, and he is 8 years younger than me. And so honestly, everything I did to that period, my 30 kilometers run, my half marathon runs, the blood I sweat I put in to lose the weight, the 20 kilograms that was stagnating back then, in my mind, it just went to nothing because there is a younger guy than me who did what I was supposed to do 8 years ago. But over time, I stayed consistent with my runs. I kept on running, even in the winter, early in the morning, before the sun even came out. I was running, I was doing the work. Regardless of the situation, I felt small in my job, right? So what I would expect from him is to be like sign up for professional stuff, right? But he was not doing that. He was right next to me in my job. And so later on, we became friends. And because we became friends, we started talking, and naturally, we are competitive, right? So I want to challenge him to like a 5 kilometers run to see who actually got like really good pace. And he mentioned like 6 minutes per kilometer pace. And I said, wow, this is like way too far for me. I was like doing 7:30 back then. And so the same perception was enforced slowly, but I am seeing no practical action in this context, right? And here's what I mean by that. I remember seeing him like smoking occasionally with other colleagues. And I was wondering why, like, didn't you quit 2 years ago? I will never put a cigarette in my mouth ever again in my life. I don't know how you fuck around with cigarettes like that. It was weird. It was like, are you actually off cigarettes or what? What's going on here? Then, when I challenged him to a run, he said, yeah, sure, why not? And then time comes, I don't hear anything. Then I try to plan another thing because I am proactive, right? I don't fear getting rejected. That's okay. So it was also delayed and it was also pushed again and then again. And now I started like, does this guy actually train? Like, does he do runs at all? Like, I do this twice a week. And I reached a point where I did 3 times a week, but my weight loss stagnated because when you do long runs, then you kind of binge eat to your body craves sugars because you lose a lot of glycogen and sugar in the process. And so I stopped that because I was more focused on losing weight, right? But he was not focused on anything. He was just getting his protein shake and vaguely talking about working out with other colleagues and teaching them what's the best technique and what's the best shoes to wear and what's the best thing to do in this position or in this training. But where is your training? I am seeing that you are getting a belly. Like, I am losing weight and you are getting a belly. Like, it seems that what's been established and said before is kind of different, right? And then he got into a fight with the like general management and he got fired eventually. We then later talked. And I told him, like, look, I'm really getting into like 6 and 6:30 pace. Let's do an actual race. Let's actually compete, right? Like, I was considering him a rival. But then he says something like, oh, you know what? It's been a while since I ran. I don't actually think that I can do this pace, etc., etc. And I was like, so what was all that talk? Where did that all that go? Well, it was all in my head, because when I see him eat in the like works cafeteria, which usually includes very greasy and very heavy meals, right? When I see him smoking around, when he tells me about how he signed up to the gym but he kept skipping days, that's called inconsistency. And when you are inconsistent, you kind of live the identity that produced some results for you. The like in my friend's example, for the triathlete guy, right? This old identity is still echoing in the future, but the identity no longer exists, because to become a triathlete you need to be really fucking disciplined, like really, like a very on point. If you don't do that, you lose horribly. I'm not talking about reaching like top 10 or something. I'm talking about finishing the race itself. Now I'm reaching higher and higher pace. I'm losing more weight. I'm getting a better shape. I'm still in my management position. And I actually got a raise recently. It's not a matter who won and who lose. It's a matter of who stayed consistent under pressure. Honestly, that's what I did in my 20s. Whenever I had a setback or failed at something, I would just give myself time to heal, or, just figure things out. But what happens is that you actually figure things out when you are in motion, doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. And that's how I survived. I stayed in the job. I lost weight. I'm still going in higher paces, and I'm planning to actually join this year professionally if I could. And I am way closer than I was ever in my life. While him, I honestly wish him best of luck. But he's not going to be competing with me anytime soon. And that's what I figured out, especially if you are after 30s, you start to feel insecure about youngsters who did some shit, right? But what you have and they don't is the skin for the game. You have skin in the game. You have seen some shit. You have been through jobs. You have been through setbacks. You have been through bad times enough. And so you understand consistency better than most. Okay? And if you haven't started yet doing what you want to do, I will show you a picture of me before I started and today. And you tell me the difference. Do you want to become closer to your goals like I am? Good. Then you start. No excuses. And you stick to your plan, specifically under pressure, especially when you want to quit the most. And so this perception that I had about him, like the young triathlete, the manager, the good talker, all that stuff, crumbled under the pressure of life. And time always reveals what you put in your life. The takeaway here is that nothing beats consistency. Even when you are older, even when you are in your 30s, even in your 40s, if you are consistent long enough, you achieve and it becomes visible. And you only understand the value of what I am saying when you live through it, when you see it with your own eyes, when you see it happens in front of you. You understand who is doing the work and who is not. You understand that this guy is doing the work, he is doing what he's supposed to do, and this guy is slacking off, this guy is not doing any work whatsoever. Because when you are engaged with your life in this manner, you become more conscious about the world around you. You start to understand that this is low consciousness state of mind. This is not for me. This is actually interesting. This is actually engaging. This is good for me. This is not good for me. And I hope this video got you one step closer to do the actual fucking work. All right? That's it for me in this video. Stay safe and take care.